Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Thursday, March 7, 2013. This is Texan TV News from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Terrell Harden. In today's headlines, driver in head-on collision charged with intoxication assault. Authorities name suspect in brutal beating. Lawmakers seek to overturn abortion procedures. Man held without bail in New York as suspect in couple's deadly crash. UN approves new sanction against North Korea. Texans visit local Allen Elementary School, as well as today's weather and today's top story. And campus news, according to Stephenville Empire-Tribune, the driver of a pickup truck that struck another vehicle, 3 Tarleton students, has been arrested and charged with intoxication assault, a third-degree felony. 25-year-old Adam Lennington is currently being at Erath County Jail on a $200,000 bond. 23-year-old Stormy Mitchell and 22-year-old Brady Graham traveling with 23-year-old Laney Riley in their 2010 pickup when they were struck by Lennington and his passenger, 22-year-old Jason Watson. Chelsea Bradley is in the studio with Stormy Mitchell, Laney Riley, and Brady Graham. Chelsea?
Thanks, Terrell. I'm here with Brandy, Laney, and Stormy, and their victims in the car wreck last week. So what was going through your mind when the accident actually happened?
It was really scary.
Yeah,
It was immediate. We knew that he was under the influence of somebody.
Yeah, he swerved right into our lane, and then just kind of all of a sudden you're like, did he hit me on purpose, or was
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it kind of felt like, I mean, all of a sudden you have a car right in your lane that just flies right into you. It's kind of scary.
So as the driver of the vehicle, what was your first thought?
I was worried about my 2 passengers and, of course, myself. I wasn't really worried about him. I was just really worried about my truck and the people in my truck.
So what kind of injuries did you guys sustain from this?
I had muscle tenderness. It was really sore. They took x-rays and CAT scan and everything, and it was nothing too severe. It was mine.
I just had a hurt shoulder and some bumps and bruises.
I'm having like shoulder problems. I have a tear in my muscle and a hairline fracture in my shoulder, so I can't really do my job right now.
So do you guys think that there's a problem in Stephenville with driving under the influence?
I'm not sure. I've only been here since October. It was only my second night out, so I don't have a good first impression on Stephenville.
This is the first time that I've ever seen anybody like this on drunk driving, and
I mean, I've grown up here in Stephenville, so I guess I kind of have a different perspective than those two. Growing up here, it happens a lot, and people never really actually think that it happens a lot. But like I said, since I've lived here over the years, I've had friends who've been hit by drunk drivers and other things, and it's one of those things people don't think that it's going to happen until it does.
Well, do you guys have a message for anybody who's considering drinking and then taking a cruise?
It's easier to get a designated driver than to drive drunk and get in an accident and have to live with killing somebody for the rest of their lives. Because everybody is a mom or sister,
A daughter, a friend, and it's one of those. Your bill is going to be a lot cheaper.
Also
if
in
you
campus,
just have to pay them gas to take you home, then have to pay for hospital bills for hitting them for drunk driving.
It's not worth it.
Well, thanks for your time, ladies. Back to you, Terrell.
Also in campus news, 3 Tarleton State University vice presidents received pay raise of $14,000 to $24,000 after a new vice president was hired at a higher salary than others. At the university records show, the raises, which took effect on October 1st, were for executive vice president and a provost of academic affairs. Karen Murray, Senior Vice President for Advancement and External Relations, Dr. Ricky Richardson, and Vice President of Student Life, Rusty Jerkins. Murray's salary increased of around $14,000, or almost 9% increased, pushed her salary to $182,000. Jerkins received close to a $20,000 raise, about 14%, increasing his pay to $157,000. Richardson received the largest of the raise at a little more than $24,000 and a little more than 16%, increasing his salary to $169,000. Murray, Jenkins, and Richardson all received the standard $100 per month raise that was given to the faculty and staff of the university on September 1st. According to the university budget, the larger raises to Murray, Jenkins, and Richardson came October 1st of the same year. Ty Minkler, Vice President of Finance and Administration, was hired August 6, 2012 at $175,000 per year. Tarleton President Dominique DeTavio says the raises were a fairness issue in the fall of 2013. Market adjustments were made for several faculty and staff members as well as the vice president. He said in a written statement, the adjustments for the vice president were necessary because we went into the marketplace to find a new chief financial officer and vice president for finance and administrations. We recognize that to get the best person, we would need to offer a higher salary. To be fair to our outstanding leadership team, we needed to take a look at the salaries of our other senior staff, particularly in light of them taking on additional supervisionary responsibilities last fall. He said DeTavio also noted that the funds were not taken away from any departments or programs to provide the pay raises. In regional news, according to Stephenville Empire-Tribune, law enforcement officials are asking for the public's help in locating a suspect wanted in connection with the brutal beating of a Huckabee resident nearly 3 weeks ago. An arrested warrant for aggravated assault has been issued for Laney Derrick Walton of Stephenville, but investigators have not been able to locate him. Was found barely alive in a pasture on the private road 1600 on February 16th. He was severely beaten, partially castrated, and set on fire. He remains hospitalized in serious condition. Sheriff Tommy Bryant said he expects more arrest warrants will be issued in the coming days as a warning for others involved. We know who you are, he said, and it would be in your best interest to turn yourself in now because we will find you. Anyone with information about Walton's whereabouts should call Erath County Sheriff's Department at 254-965-3338 or Crime Stoppers at 254-965-CASH. And now today's Texas national and international news from the Associated Press. In Texas news, according to the Associated Press, controversial news abortion restrictions have caused anguish but led few to turn from the procedure, according to a presented by a state lawmaker who wants the restrictions enacted in 2011 with two-thirds majority supported in both chambers. The restrictions require women seeking abortion to hear a doctor's description of sonogram images, wait 24 hours, and then return for a procedure. Similar restrictions have been adopted in 29 other states. According to the National of State and National News, a man suspected of fleeing the scene of a grisly New York crash that killed a pregnant woman and her husband was arrested at a Pennsylvania convenience store on Wednesday after a friend arranged his surrender, and he was ordered held without a bail. Julio Acevedo walked to officers awaiting in cars in the parking lot in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and was arrested on charges of leaving the scene of an incident. New York Police Department spokesman Paul Brown said Acevedo said nothing to officers who took him into custody. Brownie said, in international news, the Associated Press reports that the UN Security Council voted anonymously Thursday for tough new sanctions to punish North Korea for its latest nuclear test, a move that sparked a furious Pyongyang to threaten a nuclear strike against the United States. The vote by the UN's most powerful body of resolution drafted by North Korea's closest ally. China and the United States send a powerful message that the international community commends the ballistic missile and nuclear test and repeat violation of Security Council resolution. Immediately before the vote, an unidentified spokesman for Pyongyang Foreign Ministry said the North will exercise its right for a preemptive nuclear attack to destroy strongholds of the aggressions. Because Washington is pushed to start a nuclear war. The North, it will appear to be the most specific open threat of a nuclear strike by any against another. In sports news, according to the TarletonState.com, the Texans basketball team visited Kerr Elementary in Allen, Texas yesterday as part of the Lone Conference Championship Tournament. Community Service Project. The Texans talked about hard work, dedication, and fundamentals with the students. Following their discussion, students from the gym class got a chance to play a game of knockout with the Texans basketball players. The Texans will face Eastern New Mexico State in the first round of the LSC tournament today at 2:30 p.m. at the Allen Event Center. For today's weather, we are in a high of 73 and a low of 59. Today's broadcast was produced by Daryl Blair, Chelsea Bradley, Lauren Lay, and Dominique Martin. You can follow us on ustream.tv/user, Texan News Service. Don't forget to tell your friends about us and become a fan of Texan TV News on Facebook, and I am Terrell Harden. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.